Hey there, Tim Whalen here from Whalen Jazz Lessons. Today we're going to talk about drop two voicings. I've been getting some questions about what they are, so I thought I'd make a quick little intro video to give you an idea of how they're formed, and then I'll show you some ways that you can practice them and give you a few exercises to maybe create some new movement in your playing. If you want to get deeper into drop two, you should check out my course 251 Voicing Mastery, where we will go into great detail about how these voicings work in the context of 251s and on their own as individual voicings. So let's dive in. So what is drop two? Well, I think if we go back just a little bit, we should talk about something called four-way close. Four-way close voicings are a lot of times what the source of a drop two voicing is. What we mean by four-way close is essentially it's a four-note voicing. Sometimes you can have five-way close with a five-note voicing, but we're just going to talk about four notes, okay? Four-way close is essentially a four-note voicing with adjacent tones that is formed inside of an octave. It doesn't spread beyond the octave. So a very simple version of a four-way close voicing could be take a C major 7. That's a four-way close. It's inside the octave and it's adjacent chord tones, root, third, fifth, seventh. That's a four-way close voicing. Okay? You know, this could be a four-way close voicing. You're having a condensed set of tones inside the octave. That's essentially all it is. So what is drop two? Drop two means you drop the second note from the top down the octave. So if we're doing C major 7, the G is the second note from the top. It's the fifth of the chord, 1, 3, 5, 7. So we take this second to top note and bring it down the octave. And that still is our C major 7, but now it's in drop two. If we took, there's an inversion of C major, 5, 7, root third. Drop two of this voicing, well, you tell me, what would the drop voicing be? What would the note be? The C. That really just sounds like a nice spread out C major 7 now. Okay. If we did B flat, D, E, A. This is like a C13 voicing. Which note do we drop to make it drop two? It's the E, so if we take this E and bring it down, we get that. I'm sometimes adding the root. That's not part of the voicing. It's just to allow you to hear the bass note. That's your voicing right there. So that's a C13 and drop two. For the sake of this video, we're going to go to F, because we don't have to do everything in C. We're going to focus on a voicing structure, four-way close voicing structure of 3, 5, 7, 9. And then I'll show you the drop voicing for each one. And we're going to go through all of the basic chord qualities. We'll also do some variations with the 6 to replace the 7, because a 6-9 voicing is also a really nice sound too, or a minor 6-9. So we'll get to all that. So let's start with the major chords first. F major, there's our bass note, 3, 5, 7, 9. That's our F major 9 voicing. That's four-way close. Now the second to top note is the E. We bring it down the octave. There's F major 9 and drop 2. Again, remember, I'm just playing the bass note so you can hear it, but that is the voicing. Let's do a variation of F major. Instead of 5, 3, 5, 7, 9, we're going to replace the 7 with the 6. That gives us F6, 9. This is the second to top note. Drop it down the octave. There's F6, 9 in drop 2. Let's do tonic minor chords now. This is F minor 9 with a major 7. So we have flat 3, 5, major 7, 9. Four-way close. Second to top note. F minor 9 major 7. F minor 6 9. Flat 3 5 6 9. These are just the same as the majors, we're just flatting the third. Second to top note. Drop 2. F minor 6 9 and drop 2. So that was the major and minor. Now let's do minor 9. Flat 3 5 flat 7 9. Second to top note. There it is in drop 2. Very Bill Evans kind of sound here. All right. Now let's do F half diminished 9. So it's basically minor 9 with a flat 5. Flat 3, flat 5, flat 7, 9. Drop the second to top note, which is the E flat. If you'll notice, the drop note on all these is either the 7th or the 6th. Now let's do diminished. Flat 3, flat 5, double flat 7 or 6, and the 9. Crunchy chord, I love it. There's our second to top note. Down the octave, there's the drop 2. And then let's do dominant. The dominant, we could do 3, 5, flat 7, 9. But instead of the 5, let's do the 13. Just because the 13 adds a little more color. And then if we drop this note, we get this really nice spread voicing. This would be with the 5th. Just a little more, I don't know, blah. This sounds better to me. Just sounds a little more, it offers a lot more options for sound when you do alterations. Okay. These are static voicings, meaning there's not movement. These are great things. This could be a warm-up. Just take this exact structure I showed you as a starting point. Take all the chord qualities we just did. Major 9, major 6 9, minor 9, major 7, minor 6 9, minor 9, half diminished 9, diminished 9, and 13. Take those each through the circle. Find a slow tempo. Maybe do a bar a piece, maybe 4 beats a piece. If you got to do 8, do that. But find a tempo that you'd be able to do it real slow and take your time. Maybe even without a metronome to start, just to get them in your hands. But go through the entire circle and don't always start on C. So I'll just take the just the major 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, do that for each one of those chord qualities. One note that I want to say, one note. One, not meaning a note like playing, a note like an addendum or whatever. I don't know what I'm saying right now. Anyways, this note is a C below middle C. This is what we call our low interval limit, meaning don't voice any chords as this being the bottom note. Don't go below this note. Otherwise, it'll start getting muddy. Like if I did C major down here, it's just a little too murky sounding. So any voicing that has this bottom note should not go below this C, okay? If that makes sense. So if you notice, I went through and I did my voicings to make sure that the voicing didn't go below this C. That's our low interval limit, all right? Now let's create some movement. Those were static voicings, just playing a voicing through the keys. Let's go back to F major. 3, 5, 7, 9. We got the 7th down the octave for our drop 2. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take the top note in the left hand, top note in the right hand, and we're gonna do a little ornamentation to give some movement to this chord. We're just going to go down a whole step, down a half step, and then back up a half step and resolve to the sixth and the root. Hear that? You know, in context, sounds like Bill Evans. So that's a nice little exercise to do. I would also do it with the tonic minor, with the minor 9 major 7. Flat 3, 7, flat 3, 5, major 7, 9. Same thing, just with the flat third. So that's a movement exercise you can do on the tonic chords, on the major and the minor. Major 9, minor 9, major 7. Now this is just a cool little exercise, a little more advanced, but we're going to go to C just for now. We're dealing with C major and D diminished. It's kind of the Barry Harris, that's where it's coming from, but it's a little bit of a variation of it. So we're essentially going to play C major. There's our 3, 5, 7, 9 structure and drop 2. We're going to go, we resolve to a 6 chord, and then we're going to do D diminished and resolve to C major 6, 9. That's kind of cool. F, B flat, let's just do E flat. So that would be a nice thing to do. You could also do it in minor. Do that again. F minor. Let's do one more B flat. So this is just a little bit of an introduction. Like I said, if you want to get deeper into this, check out my course 251 Voicing Mastery. The link is in the description. We really get into this in detail, and you really get to master this in the context of major and minor 251s. I hope it was helpful. We'll definitely start talking more about drop 2. There's drop 3. There's drop 2 plus 4. There's drop 2 double lead. All these fancy names. And we'll cover it all, but one thing at a time. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Have a good one, and happy practicing.